Articles of Freedom, Part 5. Article 9. Foreign Policy and the General Welfare Clause of the Preamble to the Constitution. A. Background and statement of the facts. B. Remedial instruction to Congress. C. Remedial instructions to each of the several states. D. Recommended civic actions by the people. 27 through 28. Article 10. Money and Article 1 of the Constitution, page 29. Remedial instruction to Congress, page 29. Remedial instructions to each of the several states, 30. Remedial, recommended civic actions by the people, page 31. Public debt and Article 1 of the Constitution, page 32. Background and statement of the facts, 32. Remedial instructions to Congress, 34. Remedial instructions to each of the several states, 35. Recommended civic actions by the people, page 36. Come on, scroll. All right, table of contents continued. Article 12. War powers and Articles 1 and 2 of the Constitution, page 37. Background and statement of the facts, 37. Remedial instruction to Congress and the President, page 39. Additional remedial instruction to Congress, page 39. Additional remedial instructions to the President, page 39. Remedial instructions to each of the several states, 40. Recommended civic actions for the people, 40. Article 13. Eligibility and the Natural Born Citizen Clause of Article 2, Section 1 of the Constitution, page 41. Part A resolution on page 41. Background and statement of the facts, 41. Remedial instructions to Congress, page 42. Remedial instructions to each of the several states, 42. Recommended civic actions by the people, page 43. Part 2, a presentiment. Article 14, illegal immigration and the oath of office clause of Article 2, Section 1, and the faithfully execute clause of Article 2, Section 3 of the Constitution, page 45. Remedial instruction to the President. Remedial instruction to Congress, 46 and 47. Remedial instruction to each of the several states, 47. Recommended civic actions by the people, page 48. Article 15. Ancillary report by the Foreign Policy and General Welfare Committee regarding the welfare state, page 48. The assistance and protection of divine providence, page 50. Nationwide civic action and pledge by delegates to Continental Congress 2009, 51. Nationwide civic action and pledge by other Americans, page 54. Articles of Freedom summary chart, page 55. Let me check my time, folks. I'm trying to speed it along. Article 1. Take a puff. Sovereignty and the Declaration of Independence. A. Affirmation. We, the people, in order to maintain our independence from any oppressor, to protect our rights as free men and women, to secure the blessings of liberty for our posterity, and to document our resolve to resist any external or internal force which may seek to curtail those rights, make this affirmation. All sovereignty originates with the Creator and is gifted to the individual, from where it is delegated to the family to the state to the nation. Any corruption of this order violates natural law and the God-given rights of the people. Whereas all political power is inherent in the people, and whereas the natural rights of persons are unalienable, and any violation of these rights is cause for remuneration and or punishment. And whereas, according to the Declaration of Independence, the purpose of government is to secure these rights. See, hear that? Let me say that again. Whereas, according to the Declaration of Independence, the purpose of government is to secure these rights. And whereas a government that has become destructive of these rights has abused its authority, and whereas history has shown that the further away governments are removed from the people, the more corrupt and oppressive they become. And whereas the officers of our governments have taken an oath or affirmation to support and defend the federal and state constitutions. Okay, still got time. Okay. All right. Whereas the federal constitution is the supreme law of the land, and whereas certain unelected supranational bodies seek to usurp the authority of the United States Constitution, and therefore the actions of these bodies are incompatible with the liberty of the people of the United States and actually constitute an act of war. And that was just my little throw in there. Whereas the federal constitution is the supreme law of the land, and whereas certain unelected supranational bodies seek to usurp the authority of the United States Constitution, and therefore the actions of these bodies are incompatible with the liberty of the people of the United States. And now, footnote 1. Learn more about the subject matter of this article in June of 2008 and again in August of 2009. Every member of Congress and the President were petitioned for redress of grievances relating to the then latest unlawful and unconstitutional action by the government to undermine the sovereignty of the people, the states, and the Union itself. In this case, the attempt to create a North American Union. The people and their petitions were ignored. Read the Sovereignty Petition. See the related Continental Congress 2009 video presentations. Tom DeWeese, Executive Director, American Policy Center, and the first delegate from Virginia. Sovereignty and the North American Union. Let me check my time again. Okay. Whereas the Declaration of Independence declares man's right to establish governments to secure his liberty and alter or abolish those which do not. And whereas the concept of exclusive judicial review of constitutionality is not to be found anywhere in the federal Constitution, and whereas the 9th and 10th Amendments to the federal Constitution clearly indicate that all powers not enumerated in the federal Constitution are reserved to the states or the people. And whereas the states are not ruling on constitutionality, it is the responsibility of the people as the final arbiters of the Constitution to decide on what is or is not constitutional. And whereas this body is a body made up of the people who are able to instruct our servant government, and whereas we, the people, do not consent to supranational bodies which may or may not seek to become a world or even regional governing body. Well, we see that in the New World Order, don't we? 847. Therefore, be it resolved that we, the people, do hereby declare ourselves to be independent of all supranational bodies, including but not limited to the United Nations and any subsidiary thereof, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, and any so-called free trade agreements and organizations such as WTO, NAFTA, CAFTA, GATT, any association or group which seeks to subvert the Constitution, such as the Council on Foreign Relations and the Trilateral Commission, and that we declare any treaties that these bodies create to be null and void. And I'll bet you I'm about out of time. Part 6 coming up.